What's going on, y'all? Wholesome Brother TV back up in here, about to give y'all nothing but the most wholesome content you'll ever find in the universe. So the playoffs are set, man. I just watched a great game. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum both went off. I feel bad for Ja, man. That man played his heart out. Nigga had I think he had 35, if I remember correctly. He was a problem. I really feel bad for him. I feel bad for Memphis just because I know that they are a good team. I know they worked their butts off to get to that 8th seed. Since the playing game was for the West and now the bracket is complete, today I'm going to give you who I think is basically going to come out the West. I'm going to go series by series and pick a winner, and we're going to decide who comes out the West. Portland versus the Lakers, number 1 versus number 8. The Lakers are sweeping. As much as I want to say the Portland Trailblazers are going to give the Lakers problems, which they will, and I know the Lakers, they've been struggling to score. I'm sorry. Playoff LeBron, he's just going to be on a different level. I'm sure they'll get their scoring together, not to mention the fact that the Blazers, they play no defense. I just watched Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies put up a 42-point third quarter. That's not going to cut it against the Lakers. Not to mention the fact that the Portland Trailblazers also cannot rebound. We saw the Brooklyn Nets get so many offensive possessions, get so many second chance points opportunities because Portland could not rebound. We even saw the Grizzlies. They were getting a lot of second chance points and second chance opportunities because Portland cannot rebound. So my main thing is, if you can't rebound and you can't defend, you're not going to make a difference in a playoff series. Now, I understand Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, the way Carmelo Anthony's playing, the way Gary Trent Jr. is playing has been phenomenal. I get all that. And Nurkic, he's playing well too. They just cannot defend. There's no one on this team that can guard LeBron. There's no one on this team that can give AD even trouble. So I'm not really worried about the Portland Trailblazers as much as it's great that they got here. I'm sorry. The Lakers are sweeping the Blazers. I don't believe the Blazers will get a game. I don't care how many points Damian Lillard puts up. It's just the Blazers, they can score 120 and they'll give up 121. That's just how they are. Rockets and the Thunder. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting first round playoff matchups in the entire tournament. I really think that this right here is such an interesting thing because Russ, he's going to be out a couple games. At least that's what they're saying. So we don't know where his health is at. James Harden, obviously, he's going to ball out. I'm expecting the Rockets to, other than the fact that they don't have Russell Westbrook, I'm expecting them to still be fine. But on the opposite side, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's balling out. We know what Chris Paul has been doing this season, how he's been so underrated, and the way he has been just balling out, leading his team to victory, and the fact that this man's, I think he's 35, and he's still playing like the old Chris Paul. So that is there for them. The fact that, again, Steven Adams, I feel like Steven Adams will give James Harden trouble when he's driving to the lane. But also there's a flip side. James Harden can get Steven Adams in foul trouble and basically take him out the game completely. This to me is tough. I think the Rockets are gonna take this, but I don't think it's gonna be as easy as some people may believe. I think the Rockets are gonna win in 6. I think OKC maybe gets 2 games, but I think other than that, I think the Rockets got this series, and I think the Rockets move on. Jazz and the Nuggets. Now, I can't lie, this is probably gonna be my least favorite, me personally, my least favorite playoff series to watch, because I can't lie, I don't really enjoy watching the Jazz or the Nuggets play that much. I'm not a big fan of both of their franchises. They're both good franchises. They both have great players. I love Donovan Mitchell, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Jokic I love too, but I just don't, I don't really like watching Jazz or Nuggets basketball too much. But having said all that, I believe that the Nuggets will win this series. I believe that this series goes 6 games as well. I think that the Nuggets will be tested in this one. I definitely think the Jazz are going to get a couple just because of the way they can shoot the 3 and the fact that they can defend pretty well. Well, it also depends. I believe that Mike Conley, he's finally found his rhythm, at least in the bubble, it seems. I think he's going to play well. Obviously, we know what Donovan Mitchell's going to give you. And also the fact that they do have Gobert, which I feel like can slow down Nurkic a little bit. And also the way that Gobert protects the rim, rebounds, stuff like that. I think that will be good. But again, I think the Nuggets are just a little too talented for the Jazz. Clippers and Mavericks. Now, the Mavericks might be the most annoying 7 seed and most talented 7 seed we've seen in a while. The Mavericks are a good team. And while I think the Clippers will win, the Clippers, they're going to get tested. Luka is balling out right now. Porzingis he's playing well. I think he was struggling, in my opinion, at first when he first got to the bubble, but he's playing well. And not to mention the fact that I love the way Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing right about now. I don't know. This Mavericks squad is going to be annoying for the Clippers. It's going to be very annoying. Now, the Clippers, they get back Montrez. That's huge for them. Again, Montrez and Lou Will, that pick and roll dynamic duo, bro. That's like 30 points right there. Montrez is huge for that team, so having him back definitely is going to help them a lot. Also, I feel like Paul George or whoever guards Luka is going to have their hands full. Also, I feel like the Clippers, they'll have their hands full with Trey Burke as well, because the way that man has been playing, the way he's been shooting the ball, the Mavericks just have shooters. They got a lot of shooters. They can drive and kick all day long, and they just have dudes that are going to shoot the rock, bro. But the way Trey Burke is playing right now is also fantastic. I did not see him coming into this bubble balling the way he has, but the Clippers, they got their hands full. This is not going to be one of those 4-0 sweeps. All right, get them out of here like next round. I firmly believe that the Mavericks are a talented enough team to make the Clippers go 6 or 7 games. I'm going to take the Clippers over this. I'm probably going to take them in 6 just because I feel like after a while, Kawhi and Paul George would just be like, all right, enough's enough. Let's just get this over with. Let's take this. So after all that, we get to the second round of the playoffs. Lakers, Rockets. This is going to be tough. This is going to be real tough. Because the Rockets, they can score, but they got a lot of 3-and-D players. They got a lot of people that can play defense on that team. They also they have bodies they can throw at LeBron, which is going to be huge. The one thing that I am worried about is I think AD is going to have a field day just because the height mismatch and the fact that he might be able to just grab rebounds on them all day. Now, I know the Rockets, just because they don't have a center, they still have been, in my opinion, a pretty strong rebounding team for not having a dude that's 7 feet. Like, they've still held their own. But, I don't know, AD could have a field day against those smaller dudes on the court. Having said that, like I said, the fact that you can throw PJ Tucker, in my opinion, you can throw PJ Tucker at LeBron for a few possessions. I'm not saying do not put that man on him the whole game because LeBron will eventually start frying him. But you can throw him at him just as a body to throw at LeBron, just to slow down LeBron, make LeBron work a little bit. Robert Covington, I've seen what Robert Covington's done against LeBron James. It is remarkable. I'm not saying, again, no one's strapping LeBron. I'm never going to get that disrespectful. But I think Robert Covington can definitely have an impact on LeBron and slow him down. But I'm still taking the Lakers. I can't lie. I'm taking them in 7, though. I think this series goes 7 just because I feel like if Russ comes back healthy, that'll be huge for them. They don't really have anybody, in my opinion, that I think is just going to run around and guard Russ the entire game. I also think James Harden is going to go off. And to me, it just comes down to who's going to blink first in that series in terms of cold streaks and rebounding the basketball. If the Lakers are on top of their game and they're out rebounding the Rockets, then they win the series. But which I think eventually will happen. I think they will get out rebounded, and I think not having a center will honestly now come back to bite them now that they're actually in the playoffs. I think AD could have a historic second round playoff performance if he takes advantage of all the mismatches he will have. Again, I don't want to make it seem like LeBron's not finna do his thing, because he absolutely will. I'm still taking the Lakers in 7. I'm not going to bet against LeBron James to at least get back to the conference finals. Nuggets Clippers, I think the Clippers just got that. I think just the way the Clippers play and just how defensively sound they are is going to bother the Nuggets. For the Nuggets, it's a matchup nightmare. And quite honestly, I don't think the Nuggets have enough offense to keep up with the Clippers. So having said all that, I think the Clippers win that series in 5 games. I think the Nuggets squeak out 1, but other than that, I think the Clippers winning that series in 5. And we get to the conference finals. The matchup I believe is going to happen that everybody has been waiting for. Clippers, Lakers. The battle for LA. Off rip, I think this series goes 7. It's just, to me, it's going to go back and forth. The Clippers, obviously, we've seen both of them play. We've seen both of the flaws. We've seen the absence of scoring sometime by the Lakers. We've seen the lack of defensive discipline by the Clippers sometimes. We've seen both of them struggle sometimes to muster up points against each other. This is going to be such a tough series and fun series to watch. Watching LeBron and Kawhi go at each other, I think it's going to be amazing. And here's the thing. I got the Clippers winning in 7. But I will say, if LeBron plays consistently on the defensive end like he did in that the seeding game opener in the bubble, when it was Clippers-Lakers, and the way he was guarding Kawhi and the way he guarded Paul George, especially on that last possession of the game, if LeBron plays like that, it's a wrap for the Clippers. If LeBron is not consistent on the defensive end, I got the Clippers. I think the Clippers will win this series. I believe the Clippers will be in the finals. I think they come out of the West. I just feel like their defense is... it's just there, bro. Like, you really got to deal with the best 2-wing defenders in the NBA, the best 2-way players in the NBA. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like AD in these couple of these Lakers games, to me, he's come up just a little bit small. I don't think he's played his best basketball. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't take advantage or doesn't be as aggressive as he should be in certain spots. And they're going to need him to do that consistently in order to beat the Clippers. The Clippers, they have a much deeper bench than the Lakers do. I think the Clippers bench is definitely going to play a factor in why I think they win. They just got more bodies that can score and still defend. And I just feel like the Lakers, they just don't have that many bodies on that bench. And that's why I'm taking them in 7. The Clippers will come out of the West. That's all I got for y'all today, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section who y'all got coming out the West, if you disagree or agree with any of the playoff matchups I said. And yeah, man, we'll see. I'm gonna get you guys the Eastern Conference. We'll go through that bracket. And yeah, bro, I'm out.